space is a place for us.
Real people with real issues.
Discussing real topics.
Black space.
A safe space for our community.
I want to make sure I get it right. So, Angie, you're going to start the conversation. First of all, Angie, are you a modern woman? Would you describe yourself as modern, or are you traditional? If so, if yes, no, why not? What do y'all want?
I would say I'm more of a traditional woman. I like for my man to have leadership. I give him the authority to, rule over the kingdom of this household. And he pretty much, I'm looking for leadership. And that's what I have in my husband.
So your husband, the buck stops with your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go to him for pretty much everything. I trust in his leadership. I trust in his decision making. He's the leader. He's the head of my household. So I would say I'm more of a modern woman.
You say actually that sounds more traditional.
That's what I meant to say.
That sounds more traditional. So you've been married how long?
I've been married for 10 years. We've been together for 14 years.
So you've been off these streets for a long time. So
it's crazy out here. I hear stories all the time. Yeah.
Listen, you consider yourself lucky for getting out these streets, because these streets is rough. These streets is rough.
I heard.
So statistically speaking, at least in our community, most Black women are unmarried. They're untethered. So you talk to your friends, right? You have friends and sisters.
I have friends.
Okay, and sisters, and So what do they say they want?
Well, seems like they want somebody that can hold down a job at least. I've been hearing a lot of stories where they say the men don't have jobs, they can't hold the job down. They don't know how to manage their money. That's what I'm hearing mainly, is that they don't have the finances.
My question would be what type of men they're dating, because I don't even run in circles when men are not at least gainfully employed, number one. And most people in this country don't have a good grasp on their finances, but that's another conversation. Would they be Tara
like Sarah?
Tara, I'll get it right, Tara. I'll get it right. If not, you just gonna come through this camera.
I ain't gonna come back if you don't get it right.
Okay, I had you come back. So Tara, are you married, tethered?
I am married. I've been married for 19 years.
Okay.
I would say I'm happily married to my best friend. I think that I'm a traditional woman in that I do allow him to lead because, I'm God-fearing. I go to church. I believe that the man is the head of the household. So I'm tradition in that I want him to lead and I don't mind following him. I give him that respect. But I'm also a little modern in that, when you tend to be traditional, I feel like you're dealing with a man that maybe is not as communicative. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're traditional, usually they just kind of take the lead without you kind of giving any type of feedback or opinion, or not necessarily like you're the silent partner. But I feel like in a more traditional relationship, the man just leads and provides, right? So for me, I like the tradition where my man leads and provides, but I also like the modern relationship to where, we have that open communication, which I don't think that was there back in the day. I don't think my parents communicated as well. I think that they were cohesive, but not necessarily communicating all the time. I think that the traditional father or husband was not as hands-on because they were the provider, right? So I feel like I like the modern father husband that is more hands-on with the kids and actually takes those hikes and goes to the park, but then I also like that he leads and provides. So I guess I'm kind of both.
So before I move on to so I want to ask this question, right? You said that you want the combination of both, the more traditional, more modern. How you say your parents are more traditional, right?
Right.
Less hands-on, kind of work, provide.
Yes.
How long were they married?
Well, both sets of parents were married. So my Mom is remarried, and she's been remarried for several years. My dad is remarried, and he's been remarried for several years. They were only together until I was 5 years old. So
Okay.
my parents' relationship did not last, but their second relationships have lasted. But I still
What?
would say they're not that hands-on father, type of, they go to work and they provide, and then they come home and they want to relax. And in the more modern aspect, I feel like the husband and father are coming home to do stuff, not just coming home to relax because they have to go to work the next day.
That's a tall order, but we're gonna come back to that.
I
Janelle,
know,
I want
I
you to
know,
go
I
ahead.
know. It's a lot. That's
You
why I said I want both. You asked what I wanted. I want both.
fair enough. I did ask. Janelle.
Well, for me, I would say I'm traditional with a modern twist, I guess.
So I want to hear about. So I've heard
Listen.
about the traditional from the other two ladies. Tell me about this modern twist. What's the modern twist, Janelle?
Well, I would say if you're with a man who doesn't know how to lead, he has no interest in leading, or he just hasn't been there before because maybe he was with a woman who didn't require him to do that, and you have to take the lead, then that makes you, I guess, the average modern day woman who feels like they can just be by themselves. They don't need a man anyway, right? So not that I'm that way, but I have been in relationships where I wanted the man to take the lead, but he didn't take the bull by the horn or steer the wheel. So I jumped in there and did it for him.
What?
Needless to say, it didn't last too long, but.
What does that mean? Take the lead. Explain.
Well, take the lead, meaning I want you to initiate things, like whether it's date night or initiate, okay, well, these are decisions that are being made. Yes, the head doesn't turn without the neck. I mean, obviously, I'm the neck, you're the head, but take the initiative in the relationship. So I have some direction, but you're still allowing me to make decisions as well. But just someone who's just masculine, strong, that could just say, hey, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, okay, daddy, we doing that, but at the end of the day, you still allow me to be a woman and make my decisions, and I feel like I'm being heard as well. So but not everyone is capable of doing that.
So I hear that a lot, right? And I'm gonna give Reggie a chance to kind of jump in this conversation. So I hear that a lot, like he didn't lead, right? And so and kind of jumping in on Tara's comments about wanting it all, right? So I assume most the three women that are married, your husbands are the primary breadwinners, right or wrong? Am I correct in that assertion?
At sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, there's some times
when I don't have a movie.
Hold on. That's right. You're an actress, so that's a little bit different. But most women aren't actresses.
No.
Most women hold regular jobs. Angie, your husband the primary?
I mean, he is now, but there has been instances in our relationship where I was the breadwinner, and I still gave him that respect and that leadership role. I didn't take that away from him because I was making more.
I'm going somewhere with
That's
this.
good.
What about you? What about you, Janelle? Your husband the primary?
He is now, but a couple of years ago he wasn't. I was.
Okay. So my question is, and I will be the primary. I mean, I'll be in an income bracket, which is pretty rare air for Black Americans, most Americans. So I'll be the primary, and so I would say I would challenge. So I have to bring home the bacon. I got to go up, I got to kill the hog, slaughter the hog, bring home the bacon, and you want to be hands on with the kids, and work 60 hours a week to make sure there's roof over your head, and be the primary protector. I don't know if I'm digging this modern twist, Tara. Reggie.
You got to cook the bacon too, bro.
You got to sometimes cook too.
You got to cook the bacon too. It seems
Right.
like Then you got to get rid of. You got to get rid of all the big parts afterwards.
So
I don't know.
Then you got to take the trash out and clean the car.
I was raised. I'm divorced now. I've been divorced since 2018. My ex-wife and I, we were together from 2006 until we got married in 2012. And our marriage only lasted 2 years. I was the breadwinner from the time we were dating up until we got divorced. I feel like, and this is just my personal experience, I feel like me being the primary breadwinner enabled her to just sit down, and just, do what she wanted to do. Um, that wasn't the traditional household that I was raised in. So that's where a lot of our headbutting came into effect. Um, and now that I'm divorced and back out here in the streets looking for my next wife, it seems like the criteria has gotten even more bleak, since I left the dating scene.
When you
So
say sit down, you mean not work?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was prior to my divorce, I was working as a sheet metal worker. Um, so I was still an apprentice, so I was doing like 60, 70 hours a week. Then I would go to school for another 12 hours a week, come home to ramen noodles.
Oh,
Um,
That's automatic grounds for termination.
right.
or
I
Because
agree.
see, that's a different subject though, because we're not
Automatic.
talking about the man that goes
That's
out and
that's
works
that's spousal
hard,
abuse.
right? That works hard and
uh,
it's gone all day, it's going to school and coming home. When you say sit down, meaning to me, sit down is not working, but they're
mm,
still handling their husband and their wifely duties and cleaning up and making sure you have a meal because you've been at work or at school all day. That, sitting down
big,
is one thing. There's sometimes I sit down in my household, meaning that I'm not working, but I'm certainly not sitting down. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm working. If my husband is the breadwinner, then you better believe he's going to get a meal when he comes home, whenever that is.
Every day.
That's
that's
in my
that.
household.
Black Space, a safe space for our community.